Musk has his eyes set on Russia, but what exactly is he planning? Yes, the cool and calculated billionaire has a knack for seeing investment opportunities at lightning speed, but could he be biting off more than he could chew? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video, we'll be taking a detailed look at why Elon Musk has his eyes locked on Russia. In September, Elon Musk stated that he was toying with the idea of building a SpaceX plant in the Eastern powerhouse. The reasons are clear. Russia has a rich history in space exploration. It's still home to some of the world's most talented minds in the field of aerospace engineering. His team is now evaluating whether or not the project will be financially viable for SpaceX in the foreseeable future, considering the fact that in the last 2 decades, Russia's space program has lagged behind the US because of poor funding. Musk, on the other hand, doesn't seem to agree. According to his interview as a special guest at a Russian aerospace event, SpaceX already has production sites in the United States and China. The company is making plans to add a few more around the world to extend its global reach. After the interview, Elon Musk went on to receive a special invitation from the Russian Ministry of Industry and Trade, which read as follows. Dear Elon Musk, we were delighted to learn that you are considering building a factory in Russia. By the way, we have a number of state support measures for local OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. Come see us, we'll talk about it. Another industry that Russia is lagging behind in is electric vehicles, which is an area that Elon Musk's Tesla thrives in. According to industry experts, Russia currently does not have a viable large-scale electric vehicle project because of concerns that inadequate charging infrastructure throughout the nation would discourage consumers from buying EVs. But then again, we're talking about Tesla, folks. The EV company has enough financial backing to build the required infrastructure to put EV technology on the map. Plus, with a population of over 144 million, Russia has a large consumer base just waiting to be tapped into. That being said, you'll be interested to know that this isn't Musk's first rodeo with the Russians. In fact, Musk attempted 3 times to buy rockets from the Russians in 2001 and 2002, but the results were disappointing. SpaceX had just been launched in 2002 when the company had started its operations. At the time, Elon Musk had money to invest, thanks to his lucrative sale of PayPal, but he just lacked one thing: rockets. When Musk first came to Russia in the early 2000s, he had an unpleasant time negotiating with corrupt Russian officials to buy ICBM rockets that he badly needed. Musk's opening line was humorous, to say the least. He approached the Russian officials and said, "I'd like to buy your biggest rockets, but you can keep the nuke." Unfortunately, after 3 frustrating visits and 3 inflated prices later, Musk eventually gave up and decided to return to the US to build his own rockets. Now, 20 years later, it's Musk who is holding all the cards. Russian space officials are practically begging Elon Musk to invest in Russia's aerospace sector. Dmitry Rogozin, the president of Russia's space agency Roscosmos, recently reached out to SpaceX CEO Elon Musk through Twitter with an enticing offer. He wrote on Twitter, "Good afternoon, Mr. Elon Musk. On October 5, a new expedition will leave for the International Space Station. We're planning to send a cinematographic group to the leading television channel as part of it. Our task is to tell the truth about manned flights." This tweet then followed this. "About the constant risk and tremendous emotional impact of all spaceflight organizers, I'm sure that you understand me well. If you succeed, I'll be glad to see you in October 5 in the cradle of world cosmonautics at the Baikonur Cosmodrome." Rogozin extended Musk's offer on the exact same day that the Russian official news outlet TASS announced that Rogozin was also formally asking NASA Administrator Bill Nelson to meet with him. Mr. Nelson, according to NASA's press secretary, Jackie McGinnis, is eager to meet with Mr. Rogozin to discuss the way forward between the 2 nations in matters concerning the aerospace industry. First and foremost, if Rogozin could persuade Musk to pay a personal visit to him in Russia, he and the country's space program would be able to ride on Musk's global popularity. But we also can't ignore the fact that Musk has a strong admiration for Soviet rocketry, as seen by his recent visit to SpaceX's headquarters, where he spent an hour talking with the grandson of Sergei Korolev. By meeting with Musk, Rogozin had the opportunity to position himself strategically in the upcoming race for space real estate. The meeting would also provide great propaganda for Russia's faltering space program, which has not been as active as it was during the Cold War. However, it's unclear whether Rogozin is just asking Musk to simply attend meetings for his global appeal or whether he wants to discuss something broader and more substantial with the SpaceX CEO. It's also an odd invitation because Musk and Rogozin have never seen eye to eye. In fact, Rogozin has frequently expressed his dissatisfaction with Musk and SpaceX's commercial practices. In a heated opinion post published earlier this year, Rogozin accused Elon Musk and SpaceX of undermining the competition by mocking Russia's space activities and using dirty, underhanded techniques to degrade its rivals. Now, it appears that Rogozin's position on SpaceX and commercial spaceflight business in general has softened. In July, he even praised Virgin Galactic on its first successful trip into Earth's lower orbit, describing it as a great success for the aerospace sector. Rogozin even went so far as to criticize Russian millionaires and industrialists from his nation. He stated that affluent Russians would prefer to spend their money on yachts than on spaceship development. You can't blame him, right? Elon Musk responded perfectly with a thumbs-up emoji. Initially, Musk would criticize and dismiss Russia's space aspirations. He would occasionally make extended and amusing jokes about Roscosmos. While Rogozin's invite to Musk is progressive, there's just one small problem. In recent years, Russia's space agency has turned its back on NASA and has distanced itself from other countries leading the international space race. This complicates Rogozin's invites to Musk and Nelson even further. Why on earth is he being so kind to them? What is he up to? And could the Russian space agency have something else under its sleeve? In any case, it's unclear if Elon Musk will consider the Russians' invitation. Musk seems to be crazily busy in recent months, splitting his precious time between SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink. The Russian invites could serve as a reminder of how terrible things have become for a nation whose space agency was once at the forefront of the space race. Let's not forget that this is the same space agency that sent the first tourist into space more than 2 decades ago. However, since the disintegration of the Soviet Union, Roscosmos has been on its knees. But why the sudden change of heart? Perhaps it could be the fact that Musk is highly impressed with Russia's progress in space. In particular, Roscosmos' development of the new Angara rocket system, which caught his attention. Perhaps Rogozin is buttering up Musk to get him on board some of Russia's future space projects. For example, Roscosmos is currently working on a new lunar program that could involve SpaceX. Rogozin also mentioned that he would like to see SpaceX and Roscosmos cooperate on a deep space exploration project to send an interstellar nanoprobe into space. While the status of this project is pretty unclear at this time, it might be part of a Russian plan to further its own interests in deep space technology and put itself back on the map as an international leader in the next frontier of science. The idea of Russia rejoining the international community in space exploration is not one that sits well with some Russian politicians, however. As reported by The Atlantic, Dmitry Rogozin's predecessor, Anatoly Perminov, has come up with an ambitious plan which would create a militarized orbital defense system to protect against intrusion by foreign objects, which Russia would supposedly sell to other countries. Russia's state-run space program has one of the smallest national budgets in the world, at just over 4%. Which hasn't always translated into practical operational spacecrafts. The country managed to send its first lunar mission in the mid-60s, but its last 3 attempts have failed, or have been scrapped entirely. Yes, Roscosmos lacks the much-needed infrastructure and technical know-how to make deep space exploration a reality. This is why an industry giant like SpaceX would prove beneficial for the program. But will Musk eventually work with Russia, considering SpaceX only hires U.S. citizens? Only time will tell. In any case, Rogozin's invites provide an interesting glimpse into the current state of Russian-American relations and the complicated dynamics at play within the global space race. And with the current state of U.S.-Russia relations, it's unclear if that cooperation will ever be possible. It's important to note, however, that there are rumors that Russia and SpaceX are already working together to potentially build Russia's first spaceport. When all is said and done, Rogozin seems keen on repairing the relationship between Russia and the United States, but he also knows how to use Musk's admiration for Soviet rocketry to his advantage. Whether or not Musk and Rogozin will meet is still a mystery, but it will be an interesting meeting to follow up on nonetheless, especially if the two key players are able to strike a deal. If Musk does go ahead and form a partnership, it means that he has decided to ignore warnings from the White House. This will make him the main target of a White House media firestorm. But as you know, if there's one person who doesn't give a hoot, it's Elon Musk. If he's going to build a base in Russia, ladies and gentlemen, he will build that base in Russia.